Which of these methods is the best for strength? Is it the 2-set method, 5x5, or low volume, high intensity? The answer is none of those. The correct answer is basing your training around your goals. What do I mean by this? Let's say your goal is to build a strong base with weighted pull-ups and weighted dips for your calisthenics journey. Here's what you need in order. First off, you need to get bigger muscles because muscles move weight. Second, you need to adapt those muscles to strength so that they can actually push bigger weight. So basically they become better at pushing bigger weight. And then third is training your nervous system to fire harder to eventually hit your goal. I dip 41 kilos for 4 reps and pull up 30 kilos for 4 reps. That's what you have to know about me. Now, many methods claim to do this really well, right? For example, the 2-set method claims that it'll build strength, muscle, and also get you adapted for hitting 1-rep maxes all in one session. But that's actually completely untrue. See, the truth is your body can't adapt to all of those all in one session. Let's say you're a basketball player. You won't go and train matches every single day and to get better at the matches. What you would do is you would probably have certain drills, you would have shooting, you'd have running, maybe you'd have gym sessions as well. The most effective way to do that is with something called periodization, where each goal has a specific week or time dedicated towards achieving it. So let's say you could have a week on hypertrophy, a week on strength, and a week on CNS adaptation. This is widely used in powerlifting and gymnastics because they're kind of more optimized sports, if you know what I mean. They've just been around longer and people have more experience since there are more people doing those sports. But in terms of calisthenics, everyone is kind of far back because these influencers, they all push these kind of weird methods that claim to adapt you to all of these at once. But the thing is that your body doesn't want to adapt. It doesn't want to build muscle. So you have to kind of force it into doing so. And if you have the same training every week, what'll happen is your body will adapt to it and it'll become lazy because it doesn't want to waste resources to doing those. It'll just become more effective at doing the movement. So it'll be able to use less energy and then build less muscle and all these different things. And so I made this video to teach you about periodization to stop this plague of misinformation that these influencers are spreading that needs to be stopped. I will show a program on screen. This is a fully periodized 5-week program. It is split into 4 training days and 3 rest days, and it only focuses on pull-ups, dips, and squats, but I made it so that you can add other exercises to it, if you want to. As you can see, we have numbers at the top, and each number basically means the priority of that movement. So if you have dips and pull-ups, you train 3 times a week, and squats twice a week because they're more fatiguing. But basically since you train them 3 times a week, the pull-ups and dips, what you do is have a primary, secondary, and tertiary day for each one. What that means is the primary one has the most volume and you just train that one mainly. Secondary is medium volume. Third is you might not even do the exercise itself. But let's get into the primary dip and tertiary pull-up just to get you to learn it. As you can see, week 1 is focused on hypertrophy. As I said, you have here high reps and lower RPE. RPE means rate of perceived exertion. Rate of perceived exertion is a metric of intensity and shows how hard you push the set. If it's RPE 10, it means you had no reps in reserve. If it's RPE 7, you had 3 reps in reserve. I'll go over this program as an example so you can use it to periodize your own training, or you can take it completely for free in my free community in the description below, where there's this program and there's also tables and lots of videos and courses, free courses, where I explain periodization and many other things. Feel free to join, and I have tons of my value there. Let's start off with the example. So you have dips at 4x8. This is just a really common way to set up for the first week. Then you have a back off, which is which are 1 to 2 sets that are focused on getting volume, practicing the movement, and a little bit of hypertrophy. and the RP is lower on the back off because you don't want it to be that intense, so you can practice it. Afterwards is something called a support exercise. In this case, we have any incline movement, so you can just take any incline bench and do something. But what these support exercises are just exercises which like help out with your weaknesses of the main movement. In this case, it's not essentially a weakness, but it's like it complements it. So if you only train dips, for example, you'll have like instability issues, imbalances in muscles, and really you don't want that to happen. So we add in support exercises to help with those and to help with weaknesses. I'll put a table on screen where you can see how a workout should be set up. I'll slightly explain it. So you have the top sets like we talked about, and then you have the back offs, and then 2 to 3 support exercises. I teach you like the different types of support exercises in my community, so if you really want to check that out, you can, but I'll just go over it briefly. As you can see, the top sets are the least volume and the most intense, the back offs are the opposite of that, and then supports are somewhere in the middle. Going back to our example, afterwards we have pull-ups at 3 sets of 8, RP 7, and that's like the tertiary pull-up like it shows. Nothing special about that, that's just the top set of pull-ups, and then afterwards you have 1 normal, 1 half pull-up. This is just like doing 1 normal pull-up, you go down here, and then do that part again, because that's your weakness. Most people, like I haven't met anyone who doesn't have that weakness. But you just train that as a back off, but also as a support exercise, and it doesn't need to be that many sets in total because it's only the tertiary day of pull-ups. Week 2 and week 3 I'll talk about together as they're really similar, but not that similar. Essentially, week 2 is slightly more volume than week 3 and lower RP. And then week 3 is mostly RP 10s, but then some RP 8s and then some RP 9s as well. So as you can see, for the top sets, you do 4x5 on dips and then 3x6 on pull-ups. Pull-ups need some extra volume as they kind of benefit from that. Afterwards, you have your dips on week 3, which is 3x3, as dips are like go really well with 3x3, and 3x3 is just good for adapting your CNS. You also have 2x4 on pull-ups. Why only 2 sets? Because I love the 2-set method. No, I'm just kidding. The 2x4 because it's the tertiary day. Afterwards, you have a deload where you just drop the volume significantly and do the 2-set method again because I love that. And you can also do 3 sets of like 5 reps, but just reduce the RP to 6 or 7 because you don't want it to be that high, especially for deloads. The reason why the RP is at RP 8 is because it's only 2 sets, but I would recommend you actually take it to 3 sets of 5 and reduce it to RP 6, as that's more beneficial for beginners. Afterwards is week 5. That's your 1 rep max week. So we essentially did all of this to cover those requirements, like I said. First off, you build your muscle. Second, you make that muscle adapt to strength. And then you practice your nervous system firing as hard as possible on week 3. Afterwards, you have your week 4 to deload and like recover, obviously, because you accumulate fatigue over those weeks and you want to drop it before your 1 rep max is to be ready. Next, you have your dip 1 rep max. So obviously warm up. Don't just go in the gym and boom, 1 rep max. Then you have your back off at 3x5. That's kind of the same as week 2, and then you have your tricep isolation and then some pull-ups. So that's generally how you periodize your training. There are many variations of periodization. This is one of the simplest ones and it's called linear periodization. I really enjoyed this one because it's fun and simple and pretty easy to program. It's pretty logical as it goes because there are some methods like this one which are way too complicated and are basically for more advanced athletes. So try periodizing your training, and it's definitely hard. It's not an easy thing to do, so definitely take the program in the community to easily do that. And I also have put the actual file in that community so you can directly import it into Excel or Canva to easily edit it and add your own workout in. See you, bro. Keep overloading.